Touching Tips
with friends
2.0.
Yes.
And this is us introducing the first episode that we're going to release. Yes. It's with our good friend Giulia Galastro. And they're a great friend of ours. Yep. They're the mastermind behind the other show, Open Comedy, their own comedy career, all these other things. And we had a great chat with Giulia. How do you think it went?
I think it went very good. This is a fun episode. We hope you guys enjoy. Like and subscribe. In the bio, there's a link to Pete's favorite pornography video. I
actually watched a pornography today of a guy fucking 6 different types of pasta. Like now, say what you want about Pornhub. That's content. That's fucking content. Yeah. And talking of pasta, Giulia is Italian, and probably shouldn't compare the pasta fucking thing. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this.
See you soon. Enjoy the episode. Bye now.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Touching Tips podcast. We have myself, Pete Carson, and my co-host.
I'm Cobin Millage, and beside me, we have
our very first guest.
I'm Giulia Galastro.
Giulia Galastro!
Give it up for Giulia Galastro. Clapping. Clapping noises.
Yeah. Hello, Julia. How are you today?
Cobin. I'm all right. I'm a bit tired.
That's okay. Wake up. It's time for the deep
questions. Okay. Hit me.
Tell us about your friends.
You guys are my friends.
Yeah, we are friends. We are friends.
Me and Pete know each other. We know everything about each other. Mm-hmm. Pete, born in 1987.
I'm so insulted.
He's a caring lover. And a generous man. See, there we go. We know everything about each other. But
it's nice to get a lot of facts wrong off the bat.
Immediately.
But Giulia, you were so this is more of a 6-month review.
Okay.
On our from our Fringe show. Mm-hmm. You were on our Fringe show.
Oh, I was
last year.
Yeah, I sure was.
And this is just just a catch up to see how you're getting on.
Yes, yes, you did.
I think there was some spots that were just trying to offer to people like Zach Zucker.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we were we'll get Giulia and Zach Zucker on together. Yeah. And then
Kevin Bridges.
Kevin Bridges.
He never responded to our
Michael
emails.
McIntyre.
He did, but we turned Michael McIntyre down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Persona
He was begging.
He was. He's not getting any stage time anywhere. He's borderline broke, as we all know. That didn't work out. But speaking of Zach Zucker, you and Zach have something big in common, which is you guys went to Gallier.
That's true.
So I know you've gone to Gallier, and I know Jacob Hennigan, who's also went to Gallier, and I also know Zach Zucker. I don't know anything about it though.
Oh,
what was Gallier like?
It was intense. It was extreme highs and lows. It's run by this 70. He's probably 79 now, year old master clown called Philippe Gallier. Philippe, and he is very mean. It's kind of like every day is like a roast battle, really. That he's roasting everyone. You'll try your absolute hardest. You'll pour your heart into whatever you're doing, and then he'll be like, "Absolutely awful. We hate her. We hope that she dies soon.
He'd say that.
He'd say that. Yeah.
People? Oh,
we hope a
nice.
little bomb come and fall on her, and if you take a flight, maybe take Malaysian Airlines and that kind of thing.
Just expert level roasting, but very quietly.
Yeah,
and you're just like your grandfather.
Yeah.
You're also supposed. He says something off, and you have to be like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
What you said? There's highs and lows. What was the high, and then was there a low going to Gallier? Because we've just all we know, very prestigious, but they pretty much there's not really evidence that you've gone there other than being like, I have
Rude.
No, not you. I've heard like at the end there isn't a certificate or anything. They're just sort of like, here's your receipt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. No, we know you've gone. We know you've gone. But it's like, God, I came across so rude. I'm so sorry.
The main thing I can't believe is you did it before you did any sort of stand-up. You done like bits of comedy and stuff, but then you went there for 2 years?
I did, yeah.
And it's like, that's a huge dedication.
Yeah, it's kind of from not knowing any better, really. I think I wanted to do comedy, and I didn't have like the first idea of how to, like I had, done some at university, but it was really obvious, like, oh, there's like this comedy society and they do these nights. And then like after that, I didn't know about open mics. I didn't understand how to like get started. Mm-hmm. And I had a friend who'd gone to this clown school, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go there and I'll like learn how to do it and meet people. And I did. And yeah, you asked about what the highs were. Like, I think because they don't give you a lot of direction. They're just like, make us laugh, get up. So you just get up and like, most of it is just kind of floundering around, being like, is this anything? And people are just sort of sitting in silence while you're like, boop.
Did you say boo?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal, is that anything? Is that, I don't know. But then every now and again, you'll just like strike gold and really make everyone laugh. And then it's like, yes, I'm a god. I am some sort of deity. And that's nice. That's a nice feeling.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you remember any lows? Like, was there any moments where you like got off stage and you were like, ooh?
Yeah, I had this idea for, I had this image in my mind of a suitcase with little legs, like dancing, and I like kind of took my suitcase with me to clown school, and I was like, I sort of ripped it so I could like get inside it with my legs sticking out the bottom, and I got like these tights that were the same color as my suitcase, and I'm like, this is gonna be so sick. I'm gonna play this. I think it was like the music from like Swan Lake or something, and I'm just gonna be like dancing around as a suitcase, and it's gonna be hilarious. And I did that, and everyone was like, and the teacher was like, is it your dream to be in a suitcase? and I just remembered like feeling so vulnerable, because it's very like you're just like constantly trying and like failing like hard, and yeah, just like the contrast between like how good I hoped it was going to be and how shit it was in reality was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Was it? Does it feel like because every comic has bombed on stage? Is it comparable, like bombing and having something just be judged harshly by that guy, or are they just completely different feelings? I guess.
It's there's similarities. I think sometimes, like sometimes at clown school, like he'd be like, that was shit, and you'd be like, okay, how can I make it better? He's like, I don't know why you're so unfunny. It's probably something to do with your family. It's probably like you probably come from a long line of unfunny people.
Your insecurities are just thrown bare at you.
Yeah.
And they don't. It's not like university where they're like, oh well, just a bit hard work and you'll get a better grade. It's just like, no, there's just something inherently fucked with you.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Personal.
It's very personal.
I kind of love it. To
be honest. Yeah.
That's so brutal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, because like it hurts sometimes. You get off stage and people from the crowd will come up and be like, "Here's what I think," and you just listen to them and you're like, "Oh, that's that. I hated that thing you just said to me."
Yeah.
But then having like a professional say it would be weird, but you'd at least know that it's coming from a place of like, this is going to be helpful.
Totally, but also I feel like it's kind of rare that people from the crowd or even like your friends will actually give you kind of like criticism of any kind. Like I feel like people, especially in Britain, people are quite polite and are like, you're like, how was that? They're like, yeah, it's great. It's like, but how could it be better? Like, it was great. And
I feel like pretty much anytime somebody does come to me with some criticism after, like I set of mine or whatever, it's always something that I'm like, how did I not think of that? And it's like incredibly helpful.
Interesting.
I think you yourself have given me like bits that I like still use and stuff. And it just seemed to be like I was on a streak for like a long time where I was like, that's brilliant. And then it'll be like 1 out of 10 is just like the worst idea of all time. But I'll still try it. And I'll be like, nope, why did I do that? On the advice of just some guy that I'm like, oh, they're funny. I should take that advice. Yeah. Not even really thinking about it. But I guess it is rarer than most professions if you're like asking for criticism.
Yeah. Explicitly asking for criticism is like, even people don't really give you criticism if you ask. Like, I've gone up and died on my ass, and you go off to your friends, and you're just like, hey, you guys just watch that. What do you think? And they're like, oh, it's good. It's just the crowd. And you're like, no, it's me. I was the problem there, which sucks just as much because you're like, why are my friends being honest to me? Yeah. It's just, yeah.
All that happens to me, I leave immediately, and then I go to a bar, and I mope there until somebody else I know walks in, and I'm like, I had a really bad gig tonight. Let me tell you everything about it. And then I wake up the next day refreshed, and ready for the next one. But I do take it very hard. But I don't talk to people about it.
I take it really hard too. Yeah.
Especially the green room, maybe. I'll like... it's probably a bad habit of doing this. I'll bomb somewhere. I'll make sure I'm in a position where there's only one other person to talk to, and I'll be like, yeah, I really bombed there. And they'll be like, oh, that sucks. And then I'll be like, yeah, I'm leaving. And then, so I'll just tell one person I bombed, just to like kind of be like, let off my chest.
Yeah.
But if I went into a group of people, I was like, I bombed. Yeah. They'd all be like, no, you didn't, buddy. You were okay. But if it's one person, they'd be like, yeah, you probably did. Like,
yeah. It feels that is. I feel like it's a very particular feeling coming back into a green room after you've just bombed. Like, I feel like I'm really smelly. Like I just like really? Did a big fart or something, and like especially if everyone else has done all right, and you come back in, you're like, oh, I'm disgusting. I'm so gross. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the shame of like. Oh,
well, if you're friends with everybody there, it's probably fine, and you'll be like, I've been in situations where I bombed, and I've been like, I'm gonna get drunk. All my pals are out. That's fine. But if there's people that you don't really know there, but you respect them, and they don't really want to look you in the eye because they're like, oh, they didn't do very well or whatever. I feel like I'm just like, okay, I'm leaving as soon as I can. Yeah. Because that's just the best solution for that. I don't even have to think about it. The next time they see you, they won't have remembered that bullshit at all. Yeah. But I used to wallow in it, probably. I don't know. I don't think there's ever been a free-for-all or like any sort of open mic I've been to where I bomb and then I sit in the back being like, I bombed everybody for like 3 hours. Just getting drunk.
I mean, you guys heard I
bombed? I've bombed at free-for-all. That's a...
What? You...
Yeah. Oh, repeatedly. All the time. I've bombed at free-for-all so much. And
you, Cobin Millage?
Yeah, I've never bombed. But it does feel quite funny sitting at the back being like, I bombed. But there's people here who are like bombing.
Yeah.
You're just watching, you're just like, holy shit, that guy's done it once and that was the worst thing I've ever seen. Okay, I feel a little bit less bad. I still was barely better than the guy who doesn't know what he's doing.
They're never going to do comedy again. I wish.
I'm mentally stronger.
52 Canoes used to be brutal because it would be like folk would talk to you upstairs in the bar because it was like a kind of the space was a bit removed, but in the room people would be like, oh, "Fuck that guy" or whatever. Yeah. I remember going up and bombing. And I just had a very loose idea. It was about like The Sopranos or something. I have no idea what it was about. But I was probably doing like a Tony Soprano accent. Just being like, hey, gabagool. And it didn't go very well. And then I think we talked about this guy before, Alex Young, who I don't think I saw him after COVID, but I met him after COVID at gigs. And then he would leave before they finished. But I don't know much about him anymore. But he was a kid from Manchester. And I remember he went up and he bombed very hard. And then he came and sat right next to me and he was just like, the stage is a lonely place this evening. Because I was the only other person that had bombed. And I was just like laughing my ass off that he just came up to me being like, I know how it feels. And I was just like, I could have just been like, fuck off, Alex. You fucking suck. Or whatever. But I would like to be fair, that night I was just like, nah, let's go get a drink. I didn't enjoy that very much. But yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah, I've fucking character. Have you guys met Raymond Mearns?
Yeah. Is he okay now?
Yeah.
I think they're touring again.
Yeah, he's back up. He's doing stuff again. I only met him after all that happened, and it was weird. I met him twice in a week, and those are the only 2 times I met him. But the first time I met him was in Peckham's in Hindland. How do you say Hindland?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went there, and I went up, and I did like fine. But it was like a very Glaswegian crowd, and it was like pulling teeth. They didn't want to see whimsy. They didn't like that at all.
Canadian whimsy.
Yeah.
The worst
Talking
kind.
about Julius Caesar and shit, and they were like, no, we don't care. And I did kind of, like, not very well. But, like, I did okay enough so that I could leave and be like, there's stuff to learn, but I'm not, like, ashamed of what I did. And then I get off stage, and Raymond was like, I could have gone a lot better. I was like, that felt really terrible. And then the next week, I was doing the Glasgow stand for the first time. And I did the same routine. And it also didn't go amazingly. It went like, okay, but it was fine. And then I get off stage, and Raymond just goes, not nearly as bad as last time. And those are like pretty much the only 2 things he's ever said to me. And I
That's
take
funny that he
talk.
remembered you, and he made sure to be mean as well.
Oh yeah, well, like he was mean to me, and I think it was Daniel Petrie. It was just like, he said something shitty to you. You're in. I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but it's good stuff.
He probably likes the cut of your jib or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that feels like something he'd say.
I've never met him. I've seen him about promoting his shows during the Fringe, and I know him from loads of stuff. I signed the card that ENTC was going about with, being like, we're signing a card for... And I wrote this thing, I was like, I really liked you in this film I saw you in. And even though I've never met you before, because you had a stroke before the Fringe started, really.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories of him being very funny, just very frank with comedians, just being like, that was shite, or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I like relatively early on into me doing stand up, when I started I did more like character stuff.
The Victorian ghost.
Yeah, there was I
like the Victorian
Victorian ghost, Little Mo. And there was also Lord Harrington.
Lord Harrington. We love Lord Harrington.
Thank you. So I did Lord Harrington at Red Raw in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And I was... And like, credit to the stand, I don't think this happens very often, but I was the only woman on the lineup, and also the only person doing like anything other than like straight down the middle stand up.
Yeah.
And it did not go great. It wasn't like Deathly Silence, but it was not amazing.
Yeah.
And in the green room afterwards, this like very established female comedian came backstage, and I think she was just like, how do you feel that went? which is like I know how I was like, I mean, not great. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, cool. And she was like, you just need, and I was like, oh, there's going to be some gold. So I'm about to receive a pearl of wisdom. And she's like, you just need to be funnier. And I was like, cool. I mean, I agree. I would prefer to be funnier. And I think she'd kind of come up through like the 80s and 90s where there must have been like hardly any women around, and she was like, you got to get a tough skin, you got to be like funnier than the men, and like, yeah, I'd like to be that, but also, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. I want to guess who it is. Turn your mic off, and I'm just gonna ready.
No, don't turn the mic off. I'm scared it won't be back on again.
No, we just use this thing.
Okay.
Don't worry, Pete. Don't worry. Ready? There we go. Yeah, I got it. Second guess. I narrowed it down to 2 people, and then I got it. It was. But yeah.
I'm gonna guess who it was in my mind. Not the.
No, that's good.
I'll tell you
We've
afterwards.
accidentally slagged off a lot of people.
Well,
and
exactly, that's
we've
what
done
I
a
was-
pilot and
No,
nothing else.
this is a podcast where we can slag off people.
Is
in my
it?
mind, no, we're not slagging people off
Yeah.
because I wanted it to be. Well, the reason we asked you about your friends in the beginning was I think we'll come back to that as well.
Yeah.
But if just a way, I guess, because touching tips with friends, we didn't really explore the idea of friendship or whatever in our show. There's an idea. I think Cobin came up with an idea to explore friendship in a podcast form because we don't really talk about it that much. It's a thing that's kind of in the ether. But I do like going back to that. Sorry, going up to somebody and being like, "How do you feel how that went?" is probably the shittiest thing you can say to another comedian. And I've done it to people and been like, oh, fuck, I didn't mean it that way. Oh, no.
Like the words come out of your mouth and you're like, oh, you shouldn't have said that.
And the person I've said it to has been like, not great. And then they just kind of walk off and you're like, oh, I'm a bit of a dick. But, when I've had it said to me, I've been like, how do you fucking feel if it fucking went terribly?
Yeah.
There's no other reason. If you did well and somebody went up to you and be like, how do you feel that went?
How do you feel that went?
I would probably
I'd have a breakdown.
be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. I think it's funny, and it happens periodically because I also catch myself doing that, which is just like an objectively. It's just a roundabout way of being like that kind of sucked. But I've accidentally gone up to people and been like, how do you feel that went? And been like, ooh, I accidentally just told them it was shit. And then they're like, amazing. I thought that was great. And you're like, oh, you don't know. I'm not sure how to combat this. And you're like, well, I'm glad. I'm happy for you. And you just sort of walk away.
I'm glad you're just
I think-
floating around on a little hovercraft of delusion.
Yeah.
A hovercraft of delusion. I like that. That's a good one.
The only way it's appropriate is like places like the Stand, Edinburgh, where you can't hear. If you're backstage, you can't hear what's going on stage.
Yeah.
So it's appropriate there.
Yeah.
But like if you were there in the crowd being like, ooh, you were bombing. And then going up to that afterwards, like, I know what I'm going to ask them afterwards. How do you think that went? I'd be like, for fuck's sake. Are you getting off on this?
They probably are, honestly.
Yeah.
Can I just briefly ask this? We've got a screen in front of us and it says wheel builder, embed
Yes.
wheel, browse wheels. What are these wheels?
So this
what
wheel-
wheels?
Good question.
So
What
okay,
wheels are you
I'm-
building?
So I was going to ask. We're just live on the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to decide where I'm going on holiday.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, because it's Pete's birthday a week today, on next Friday.
Sometime soon. I don't know when it is.
Is it
It is the 16th of February.
1991.
One. Okay, sorry. And his address is no.
Is it a choice between these?
So in my head, I wanted
Venice.
to go to
Go to Venice.
No, that's all.
go to Venice. Is the
Yeah. If it's a choice between, so we've got Paris, France, Copenhagen, Denmark, Malta, Venice, Italy, and Gdansk, Poland. I'm
Gdansk.
Italian. Go to Italy.
So I've had a lot. I posted on Instagram yesterday. Let me see what the post was.
Yeah.
I'm going on holiday for like a weekend. Where should I go? And the responses I got were Adam Canning told me to go to Krakow.
Yeah,
Didn't-
I've heard Poland is nice.
Dan McKenna said Gdansk. He loves Gdansk more than any other Polish city, and I guess he's maybe over there with his girlfriend quite a lot.
Yeah.
But is that because it's cheap and cheerful, or it's probably quite cold this time of year?
Yeah.
Bologna.
Mm-hmm.
Bologna.
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 Italy.
Yeah.
Italy. Or Bruges. Bruges. I kind of wanted to go to.
Yeah, that's.
I've been to Bruges, though.
What country is Bruges in?
Belgium.
Belgium.
And I
Okay, yeah.
want to go to the Kingdom.
Fucking
of Mayonnaise.
Bruges. Have you seen In Bruges?
No, I need
Yes.
to watch that.
It's really good.
It's a great film.
Ben Sutton, I think, lent me the DVD to that, and then it's just been sitting on my shelf because I got home and went, I don't have a DVD player.
No one
Yeah.
does. No one
No
has
one
one.
There was a point, I think, in HMV where they were selling in Bruges DVDs for £3 for a year. I bought several just for people to be like, hey, watch this film. Yeah. I didn't pay very much for it. Yeah. Cobin Millage suggested I go to Sarajevo in 1994. Where is that? Is that Bosnia?
Yeah, Bosnia and Herzegovina. And 1994 was the middle of the
a war
siege of Sarajevo. Yeah.
You could go to. I feel like you can fly Edinburgh to Sicily. Sicily might be a warmish.
Yeah, well, but Malta is below Sicily.
Oh, okay.
And I checked the flights, and the flights were like dead cheap.
Yeah.
Sicily I didn't really look at. I was just looking at like city breaks for. There's so many cool cities in Italy.
Yes.
But there seems to be only one place people want to go in France, which is Paris. Like Nice or Marseille probably be quite cool.
Yeah.
Spain has so many fucking cool cities as well.
I liked Barcelona, but Barcelona is
Barcelona.
great.
Barcelona.
Great
That was the other suggestion that a lot of people said was go to Barcelona.
Yeah.
My friend. So a few people said to go to Portugal, but I went to Portugal last year.
Yeah.
Sam told me to go to Serbia. I'm not going to Serbia.
A country that's been recommended to me a bunch is Croatia.
Croatia's meant to be really nice.
Yeah.
Never been, but I've heard good stuff.
Have you ever seen a map and what Croatia
The
is
coastline
shaped like?
Is like
yeah.
the biggest fuck you coastline.
Yeah.
To make like so Bosnia and stuff are like technically landlocked because Croatia just has all of the beach.
Yeah, they had to have like the tiniest, like it's like several miles long of coastline, and it's just Croatia just hugging it all the way around and taking all. It's so funny. I every time I look at that, I'm like, hell yeah, which isn't often, but it is enough that it is something.
Well, the north of Norway, I didn't realize until recently, has like it's kind of crazy. It takes up the whole of the Arctic Circle almost until Russia. Yeah. So Sweden doesn't really, or Finland, have a path up there, which I always thought was very weird. And then sort of the other ones. Do you know who suggested Venice? Stevie Coulter.
Oh, we love Stevie.
Stevie
Cocktails Coulter. What a good guy.
And then
That old romantic.
Rory Miller suggested Seville.
I feel like Venice around Valentine's Day though could be maybe Venice is
I'll just
freaking.
be like alone, just off my own boat.
Have you been to Venice?
I've never been to Italy. I've never been to Venice.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Venice is magical. Venice is like
hit a nerve.
But the whole of Italy is amazing. I'm obviously quite biased. Venice is like no. Have you been to Venice?
No.
Oh my.
I think I said to
God.
Stevie that like Venice is one of these places that looks so cool. I feel if I went there, my head would explode. Yeah. Because ever since I was a kid, I was just like, so it's a city, but like all the roads are rivers, and you're all on boats.
Yeah.
My brother went there, I think, when he was a teenager, and he said it's still one of the coolest trips he's been on.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to leave it to the wheel.
Oh, we're gonna scroll on a wheel.
Oh.
What do we got?
Oh, so we're gonna let the wheel decide where I go.
So he took your opinion into account and then went no, and is now spinning a wheel.
Well, your opinion is there in Venice.
There you go. Okay, that's right.
Okay.
It looks like a
Siri.
beach ball.
So,
so you could go further south in Italy, and it would be if you wanted it to be warmer.
where is Venice in?
Like the north.
Oh, right. I thought it
Right,
was
the north.
I thought it was south.
Nah.
Yeah, I get Sicily and
Rome,
Venice.
Sicily. I got a lot of friends from people I went to uni with. We shouldn't be disparaging friends. This is Touching Tips with Friends podcast. What was the other place? Napoli. So I had suggestions to go to Napoli. What would you root for, Cobin? What do you think is the best?
You know what? Seville. I'm going Seville.
Seville.
Like the oranges.
And Julia, you're saying Venice.
Yeah.
Clear to spin.
Oh, that's a pleasant noise. What do we got?
Where are we going?
Gdansk, Poland.
Fuck!
It seems like you don't want to go there.
Best out of three. I just want to go because it's like February. Paris in February is like cold. Copenhagen in February is cold.
Why don't you take out all the fucking cold places then?
Yeah, and then just
Because
that would
they're
leave
beautiful.
Italy. That would just leave Italy. Go there.
Let me add some different destinations in Italy.
Seville.
So
I don't know.
Seville could be pretty magic.
So what? Some other
Spain.
Some
I don't
other
know anything about
suggestions that
smaller places.
Some other suggestions in Italy.
If this is
Venice.
Right, it's Venice.
Yeah.
We're going to Venice.
Venice.
Or in someplace in Italy.
And by we,
Yeah.
you.
I'm gonna.
Rosie and I are going. We were meant to be going in May, and there's been a whole kerfuffle with holidays, and we're probably going to go in October now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Nice to just Venice or Italy.
No, we're going to kind of the places I'm from in Italy, which is Genoa in the northwest and Calabria in the which is like the toe of the boot.
Okay. That'd be kind of cool. Kind of cool. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Were you born in Italy?
Yeah. I was born in Genoa.
Oh, lovely. That's
Yeah.
real Italian.
you know where I was born?
Perth?
Perthshire?
I was born in Edinburgh,
What?
in the Simpsons Hospital.
Oh.
We're the quarter mile.
Is that why you
stand
like
for.
The Simpsons so much?
It is. And also, he invented penicillin.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Where were you born?
I was born in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, in the
that where-
Foothills Hospital.
Is that where Brett the Hitman Hart is from?
Yes, yeah. That's it's weird. So we have a hockey team named after the Hart family. They're the
my
Calgary
God.
Hitmen. They have
Yeah.
the dopest logo, but they're technically an amateur team, I think. But it's fun to go to their games. But you can also just drive up to the Hart House.
Oh my God.
Like it's in like a posh neighborhood, just sort of on a corner. You just drive up and you're like, wrestlers live there.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
so many. I didn't know anything about them, and then
Taste of Calgary.
whoa, is that what Calgary looks
Yeah.
like? For those watching, it's like skyscrapers galore.
Yeah.
Does Edinburgh feel like a weird kind of medieval village to you?
Yes, and I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh!
Whoa.
If I never see another skyscraper in my life, I'd be happy.
Oh my God!
It's like all those like
It's massive.
Calgary
I like
is
skies.
so big.
I like skyscrapers.
Yeah.
They're
Like
cool.
when I went to Vancouver when I was 19, like when I saw like the view from Kitsilano to like the main island, I was like, I'm finally in a cool city. I'm not in fucking like Glasgow. I'm not in Edinburgh, which is. Then when I came back to the UK, I was like, oh, Edinburgh's so cool. Actually, I didn't even
Edinburgh's
think about
pretty
it.
cool. I love
Edinburgh's
it.
brilliant. One of my favorite things about stopping in Barcelona is that
Barcelona.
apparently Barcelona they have a cap on how tall buildings can be. It's like 3 or 4 stories, but
Yeah.
that's so sunlight can reach everywhere. And I heard that and I was like, that's the greatest idea because there'll be times in the summer and it's 40 degrees out in Calgary. It's scorching and you're in downtown Calgary and it's essentially like nighttime because there's just no light getting anywhere.
Oh my God.
It's grim. Yeah.
Toronto looks very leafy.
Toronto's beautiful. Toronto is too big.
It's too big.
Yeah.
Whoa! It goes on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toronto's a weird city because like Toronto itself is pretty big, but then it has like so many other cities around it that are just part of the greater Toronto area.
I think it's not the biggest. It might be Mexico City is like the biggest metropolitan area, and then it's the GTA.
I've been to Mexico City.
All right.
Oh,
Not
what was
me
that
to
like?
brag.
Oh, what's that like?
It was pretty cool. Went on a choir tour
Ooh.
with my choir.
Ooh. That would be cool.
Mexican hymns.
Yeah.
We got asked to. There's like a Mexico City music festival, and for some reason they asked the choir that I sang in at the time to come and perform. Anyway, this is not funny. This is a comedy podcast.
It's a podcast with friends.
I've derailed
Tell us your
it.
stories.
I've derailed
We'll
it.
hear
So
that.
yeah, I guess one of the we want to talk about maybe some friends you have. What are your relationship with your friends like? Inside comedy and outside comedy. I guess start with your friends outside comedy.
Oh man, that's a very deep question. My friends outside comedy. I feel like I've got a couple of like kind of like long-term friend. The vast majority of my like friends from uni and thereabouts are in London. Like most everyone I know from like gravitated to, especially people who are in like the performing arts in some capacity.
Yeah.
They just went to London. So, yeah, they're there, and I keep in touch with them every now and again. But I'm not very. It's hard to like.
You drop in. You're like, let's go up the shard.
Yeah. Shard. Shut. That's what I say. I just send them a voice note going, shut. They know what's happening.
Can you do that right now?
Shut.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Clip that. Clip it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just something we were trying to figure out is like because all the people we're having on this show are pretty much our friends. I say pretty much because there was a bunch of people on the show that we had where we're like we don't really know them.
We hate them.
We don't. I don't think there was anyone on the show who we
enemy.
did.
We're gonna get some people who did our show eventually that were like, we just know you as a comic that we know. I suppose. But we're getting people on first that were like, we're pals, right?
Yeah, but it's. I think it's so interesting, like meeting my friends' friends, because they're like the Venn diagram person. Like when Pete. He's introduced me to like his roommate Nathan, who's class, and his other friend Sam, who's really nice as well. But they are just different universes of like comedy. Like there's comedians and there's his friends outside of comedy who are just completely different characters. And I want to try and figure out like what are your outside of comedy friends like?
So my the two people that spring to mind, like the two people, like, so if I'm going to London, I'm like, oh, I get to see those people. Like, I hope they're free. My friend Charlie Jeffries, she is an academic and she also plays in a punk band. She's super cool.
What are they called? The punk band. We can plug them.
Plug their show.
So she pre-pandemic, she had a band called Jeff. I feel like they might be on hiatus.
Oh,
but she now plays with her girlfriend in a band called Romcom.
Romcom.
I like that.
Yeah, check them out. Pretty sure they were on like Bandcamp and SoundCloud and stuff. Yeah, so I love Charlie Jeffries. She's a great person. And I've got a friend called Andy Brock who I met doing like drama stuff at uni. He got together with a mutual friend. Like they were friends for years, and now they're like a couple, and that's kind of nice because it's like, oh, but like I get to see this friend as well, and you're. Yeah. I can't really imagine that, like having been like, oh, we've been friends for ages, and now we're a couple. I just knocked my scarf off. I'm just gonna smoothly
Get your scarf back.
Just
a casuals.
Yeah, it's here now.
But you didn't know them together ever as a couple. They did, while you were not
while
in the room or whatever. They were like, let's hook up or whatever.
I kind of went to meet up with him at some point, and he was like, by the way, me and so and so are together now. I was like, oh, okay. Whoa, it didn't. And they live on a houseboat and have a lovely dog now.
That's cool.
And, yeah,
a houseboat in London sounds nice.
Houseboat in London sounds kind of like, it's kind of idyllic, and like I don't know how else anyone like vaguely our age could afford to like buy a place in London.
I've seen these like there's tons of canal shows or like I guess things about the Thames. They must love it still. Just people buying houseboats and doing them up on like not Grand Designs, but maybe another show like that. And then I think about ENTC's houseboat in the canal. I've never seen it, but I'm like I'm always interested to see what that's kind of like in the countryside and shit.
You know, he's got I remember him posting on Instagram. He's got a toilet that's like an incinerator toilet.
Yeah.
And it's called Cinderella, which I thought was just a funny
an incinerator toilet. Like I guess chemical toilets are the bane of like camping holiday or whatever.
Yeah.
Chemical toilets suck. I never thought
incinerator toilet.
How do you get your poo off your boat? How do you do it?
Burn it.
You burn it.
That's fucking cruel.
Cinderella. You will go to the ball.
Telling you shit.
Yeah.
Time for the ball.
Yeah.
ENTC also has a tattoo shop on his boat. Boat. And I never thought about I was like, oh, that's a dumb idea. And then I think at some point I was talking about this with someone and they were like, it's a canal, there's no waves.
Yep.
level, and I was like,
asked him,
it's not a
I asked
real
him that
water.
exact question. I was like, aren't there like waves on your boat? He's like, it's a canal. There's no waves. And I feel like I'm not the first person to have
Yeah.
asked you this question.
As him quietly answering you in his lowest register.
Yeah.
Ian, shouty Mick, shouty. No, I was curious about that as well. Just like probably, I think about getting a tattoo soon. Actually,
Have you not got any tattoos?
I don't have any tattoos. You guys have got loads of tattoos. I've never had a tattoo. And my friend Sam, he's just had his second. He's doing it like all at once. I think his girlfriend has tattoos or whatever, and she's like, "You're getting tattoos." So he's tattooed like all of his like sort of shoulder and his arm.
And that's a lot of space. He's yoked.
And then
Giant
he just tattooed kind of like the would you call that the midriff of the arm? I don't know. Just kind of like above the shoulder or like below the
torso of the
not
arm.
the shoulder, sorry, the elbow.
The elbow, which is like the shoulder of the arm. Yeah.
The midriff. Been using the term midriff too much.
Midriff.
Because my
The
midriff
equator, the equator of the arm.
the equator.
Yeah.
So he's been telling me to get a tattoo for ages, and then my other friend was like thinking about getting a tattoo. And I keep seeing Inky in the main stuff. So Lee Brophy has a tattoo shop now, and I keep seeing like Max's friend Becca works there.
Oh, does she?
I think she works there as like a trainee artist or whatever. But I'm like, am I getting a tattoo just because of comedy? Like, am I getting a tattoo at a comedy? Like, tattoo day. I could get a tattoo from Tattoo Dave, Ian TC, from fucking Lee Brophy.
Yeah.
Would I just do it?
I'll do one. I'll tattoo you.
Can you tattoo? You do stick and pokes? Or?
I've never done stick and poke before, but I've Googled it. It looks easy.
Rosie's got a bunch of stick and pokes.
Ooh.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Rosie does.
Rosie is it?
Yeah, Rosie's got cunt written on their hip.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
That's a very rosy tattoo.
Yeah, it is.
I think Rosie's tattoos, I've seen a lot of the ones that are just like, oh yeah, this is one I did when I was bored or whatever. Yeah,
I like the garlic
it's very
one.
funny.
Yeah, the
Rosie's
garlic
just
one's
got
beautiful.
garlic, and I'm like, it looks like a flower, but it's garlic.
Yeah.
It's dope.
So you get tattoos, and then I'll be talking about them at Billy Kirkwood's Fringe show next year or whatever.
Oh, he hated that show.
Yeah, so I heard from you.
Yeah, so Billy Kirkwood did this show about tattoos. It was called Show Me Your Tattoo, and I don't know exactly what it was about, but I kept running into him doing picking the Fringe shows. Be like, hey man, how's your run going? He's like, good. I did the awful show, and then I was doing this one. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, the tattoo one. I hate it. And I'm like, we're on day 3, Billy. And he's like, yep, I know. Ooh.
I wonder how he got to the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I ran into him when I did Glasgow the other week, and I was like, would you bring that show back? And he was like, it would cost a lot of money to bring that one back. Not out of his pocket. Someone would have to pay him a lot of money to restart a show that he just hated across the board.
People. So as a I have a lot of tattoos, and I think being a woman with a lot of tattoos, people like say stuff to me a lot. Like in, I think also I look kind of approachable, so people think they can like. So, like, in, like, the queue for the ladies in a pub or something, someone will see I've got a lot of tattoos and, like, often, like, kind of physically, like, pick up my arm to, like, be like, what does that say? What is that? Which is like, hey,
weird.
pro tip, don't touch strangers if they don't ask you to. And then they'll just tell me about their, like, I want to get, and then just, like, go on, like, a long, rambly story about like I want to get like a hummingbird because it's like a hummingbird with like 3 eggs because like the eggs are like me and my siblings and the bird is like my friend does them real cheap and I'm like I don't give a shit but I'm too polite to like shut this down.
Yeah. What's the worst tattoo idea you've ever seen or heard of someone wanting?
I went through a phase of watching. There used to be a program. I don't know if it's still on. It's called Tattoo Fixers, about people with like bad tattoos who come in to like our top artists, and like I think the artists were like not all amazing.
Yeah.
They're good on TV.
Yeah,
artists.
yeah.
Like,
And there was like
talk
this
to the camera.
one person who came in, who I was just like immediately like, I think this is a bad man, and he was like,
Yeah.
he had a Scouse accent, which I don't think I can do, but I'm gonna give it a go.
Yes.
And he was like, I've already got a tattoo on my dick, and what I want is like I want it to be like an alien point, and like my dick is like the finger of the alien. It's like pointing at. So he got. He got like, and it was harrowing to watch. It looked bad, and like, can you imagine like hooking up with that guy with like the alien finger dick?
How close did it get to the end? Was it like?
I think it was like, I think they had to pixelate out the penis part like of the tattoo. So like there was like an alien face, and then, then like just such a bad idea.
But it was he was getting that something covered up.
Yeah.
So
something
he had
was
a
like,
tattoo on
this
his.
is the good. Yeah.
He had something even worse
He had something
already.
even worse.
Yeah.
That was like, it was like Sam's
Yeah.
mom or something already on his dick.
Oh my god.
Pete, Google it. No, I'm kidding. But also imagine having a tattoo on your dick, and your thought is like the artwork was the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. Also, very good accent. I enjoyed
I was
that.
gonna say,
Dan would be
very
proud
good.
of you. Our
my
Scouse
best.
friend, Dan.
Scouse is not
Dan
one
McKenna?
of
It's
my
hard.
better
It's
ones.
hard to do a
Yeah.
Scouse accent, even when you hang out with somebody. I think Manchester's really hard because
Do
it's
you?
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
blander than all the accents like nearby.
Yeah.
So whenever Mike
Sayers.
talks, I'm like trying to be like, how do I imitate Mike? But whenever like Dan talks, I'm immediately just falling into just being like, oh yeah, the Beatles, just like trying to make fun of him. Whereas like making fun of people from Manchester, it's like you gotta really find somebody who's a bit of like a voice from Manchester.
Yeah, because Mike doesn't sound like he's from Manchester at all. He just sounds.
He's got
does,
quite,
but
he
he-
does. He's got a gentle Mancunian. How? That's an interesting question. How? I feel like I'm less able to pick out accents, like different accents in
I
like
don't know why I'm looking at this.
like America or Canada. Like I presume there are like, oh, I can tell that person's from the maritime provinces. That's one bit of Canada. But like how it within the UK, how much are you like, oh, I can hear that like, can you pick them out?
Yeah, some of them, not all of them. Like I think like Glaswegian versus Edinburgh is different, but like a lot of like Edinburgh accents, I hear them and my first thought is this person's from London, and that's incorrect all the time. But like Glasgow, I can pick out if they're speaking Scottish and I can't understand a word. I just think it's like Aberdeen, which is way north. But then like the few accents which I can get really easily are like the posh London. That one's simple.
Oh mate.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also like the accent
Piccadilly line.
from Hull.
Oh,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
I can't even do Paul's accent.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can except for them. But yeah, hear it, and I'm like,
Sup.
I do like it. Yeah.
Paul and
He had a little bit about his girlfriend wanted to buy some soap.
What?
He has such a
Soap.
great.
Soap.
He has such a great accent. Callum's from the same place, but
Doesn't sound like it at all.
Sounds
no,
less.
they've got less.
Yeah.
They're more just general Yorkshire.
Callum Aspen's making us a cake.
Oh yeah, because it's open comedy's.
birthday.
comedy.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
you
is
know.
when will this come out?
Probably after.
Maybe after.
If it is before, hey, everyone listening, you should go to the Open Comedy Birthday Show on the 20th.
And
Maybe
vote for
I-
Open
21st.
Comedy for a Chortle Award.
For a chortle.
That's a thing.
you
That's
voted?
amazing.
Maybe
Have you
I
voted
will
Pete
release
Carson?
this. Sorry,
Have you voted, Pete Carson?
I did.
Yes.
but I didn't. I feel so bad about this. I'm gonna come clean. I might have to vote again
You're a fucking coward.
because I forgot to vote Mango.
Oh,
as the
okay.
specialist.
As long as you
that's
got one of them,
okay.
yeah.
Did you vote for Open Comedy for
Of
the?
course.
I thought you were going to say
But
I
I was
voted
just-
for some
I was
other
just-
open
I
mic. I was
forgot that I
like
could
about
vote.
to storm out of here.
I forgot that I could vote for Mango.
That's
and
okay.
so I voted for just like one of Ross Leslie's things, just because I was like,
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just think about whatever he's doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll vote again. We'll rig it. Comedy Mango.
Comedy Mango.
If anyone from the Chortle Awards is listening, we have not rigged anything.
No, we couldn't if we tried.
I literally couldn't.
Yeah, no, it's tough rigging stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But you are essentially, not essentially, you are literally the driving force behind Open Comedy. How have you been enjoying it?
Oh, I've mostly really been enjoying it. It's like I still get nervous. I still like every single show. I'm like, is this going to be the one that no one turns up to? Is this going to be the one that I drive into the ground? Is this going to be the one that no one signs up to perform on? It's like I never feel like it's cool. I can just coast. Like it's, I also like I try and do some a little bit of new material every time I host. And every single time I'm like, next time I'm going to be prepared and I'm going to, and it's just like I work, like I have a day job and I'm gigging and I have a partner that I'm obsessed with and
it's adorable and disgusting.
it's gross.
But
And
we love them. We love them.
and every single time I'm like, okay, I'm a bit. This is all a bit cobbled together for this time, but next time I'm gonna come correct. And then next time, somehow is like just sneaks up on me, and So those are my main feelings.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun running it. Like when it's going well, it's like a particular kind of happiness that I have of like. Super happy for other people doing well, but like I've kind of put the whole thing together, and like when the night's like kind of just ticking along really nicely, and the audience is having a nice time, and like it's not really about me, but like I'm like this like it's a really nice feeling to be like I kind of brought these elements together, and
Sometimes like not every time a year. But like mainly probably during the summertime or like maybe when spring breaks, that's when I feel like open comedy is such like a fun, like lovely place to hang out, and I'll be like so excited about it. I'll even smoke weed. And I'll be like,
Pete'll do a drug.
I'll be like,
do drugs.
I'll take crack.
I'm usually.
I'll shoot up.
Until
I'm
Leaf,
usually
you
like,
can
I'll just get like a bit drunk or whatever, and then like there'll be somebody smoking a joint and be like, oh, I feel so great right now.
Yeah.
I'll even smoke weed, and then I'll
Yeah.
come back and I'll be like to everybody, I'm like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
But generally, just when the sun is kind of in the position down, when it's sunny and we have the late sun going down the
Yeah,
clock,
because there's those big windows.
it just feels like it's such a great space.
Yeah. And it's,
Winter Roman comedies is great as well. It probably is also the one thing that sort of staves away a lot of people's depression.
Oh.
So you should be proud of what you've accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, if it wasn't for open comedy, I probably would not be doing as much comedy as I am today.
yeah.
So
Hell yeah. That was very sweet.
I didn't mean it
kindly,
just
Pete.
came out. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. You own that. Also, for those of you who are listening who are like, what the fuck is open comedy? It's a comedy show that happens every single week at Artisan Roast, Leith Walk. Julia runs it. I help,
does COVID.
but no, Julia runs it. People all the time, people come up to me and they're just like, have you ever done Julia's gig? I'm like, yeah. I don't even correct them. I'm like, it's Julia's gig. I know.
I'm
who's
sorry.
done it. No, don't be sorry. Like you're the one who does all of the like work. I just help set it up. That's not like it's your baby.
You help a lot. I couldn't do it without you.
Thank you. That wasn't me trying to be like, but it's me being like, this is your night. And like, we won a Chortle Award last year. We're hoping we win one again this year.
That would be very nice.
And it's just become a really nice and friendly show. And because we also did something I felt really, really bad about was last Fringe when Monkey Barrel kindly let us do a show during Fringe. And like the day before, Julia was like, I am so sick, I can't do it.
Oh,
and then we had to do open comedy without her, and we were like, this is weird.
No.
Yeah. That was such a strange event. And then they put us in Hive, and Hive is a cool venue, but it smelled like
It's stinky.
vomit.
It's stinky.
It was so bad. Oh, but yeah. I mean, it was a really fun show, even though I was only there for a little bit of it. But yeah, open comedy, hell yeah. And then open comedy Mango. Tell us how did that come about?
I'd been thinking for a while about like I'd love to do a night that is all. Well, it took me a while to like narrow down. Like, do I want it to be like all women? Do I want it to be like all queer people? Do I want? And in the end, I was just like, I want it to be kind of essentially like marginalized genders in comedy.
Yeah.
So what it is all female, trans, and non-binary.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll give it a go. I don't know if I'll have enough people to fill the lineup. I don't know if people will be keen to perform on it or to come to it. But like, touch wood, it's been pretty awesome.
It's been easily our most popular show.
Yeah. And I feel like there's just a real like kind of hunger for that, and it just feels like a different vibe. And there's people who like in particular like kind of I don't know, like trans people who maybe on like a regular comedy night might be like, ooh, I don't know if I like worry that like someone might like say something shitty to me, or like like I'm kind of proud of the fact that hopefully they can come out and like have a nice time.
Yeah. And overwhelmingly they do. I don't think anyone's ever said a bad thing about Mango. I don't think anyone who qualifies for the show has ever said a bad thing. There's probably weird corners of the community where guys are just like, they're not us anymore. It's like,
every other night is for you.
It's on once a month.
It's on once a month, last Tuesday of the month.
The last open comedy was probably the most guy-heavy one I think it's seen in a while, and I was like, whoa. A lot of fellas on the lineup. I don't know how I feel about this. I know they had, but like I was kind of like,
no, just to be clear, not the last Mango, the last open comedy.
The one on Tuesday was.
That was a rough one.
It was all right. I had fun. But
one act brought 60% of the audience. You showed up with 6 people. I don't know how math works.
Yeah, but I think I talked to them the entire time. I was just like, you guys are the audience now.
Yeah, and then Mango pulls up, and what's our record? Like 78 people in or something into this
so
tiny
busy.
coffee shop.
Yeah,
and that's a roaring time. It's so good.
Mango's fun. I'll come down even though I'm not invited.
We just hang out. We hang out to vibe.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, and we're getting the production value up, which matters. We have a spotlight now.
Thanks to Cobin,
And we have
got a
beautiful
banner with
a
eyelets.
backdrop.
It took me so long.
And carabiners holding it up.
Thanks to Rosie.
Yeah. No, it's open comedy has turned into something really nice. And then we probably do need to start wrapping this up soon. But you also are the heart and soul of the other show, Monkey Barrel.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that, because me and Pete know about it.
You're doing one tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyone exciting on?
This will not air before that.
No, it won't. Come see the show if it's in the past.
We're doing so. There is an act I've never come across before who's up visiting, called The Mayor and His Daughter.
Oh,
Okay,
sake.
I'm on board. That sounds
I'm on
strange,
board
but
with alt comedy as much as the next person. But then 2 people being 1 person, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
Maybe the
hopefully
daughter
they'll be great.
or the mayor, one of them is a puppet.
It's an alt comedy show at Monkey Barrel. It's the 2nd and 4th Saturday. Thank you, of every month. I've had some wine now.
Are they coming up just for this show?
I think they're doing a Top Banana either like this Wednesday past or
They're not
next
doing
Wednesday.
The weekend show. It's not somebody's alter ego.
I think so. No, I think they're like a double act.
Okay, that's cool though.
Also, I need to piss. Can we?
That's all right.
Do you have more things you want to ask me on this podcast?
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Would you do touching tips if and when it comes back?
Can we lock you in for the Fringe?
Yep. Can we lock you in? Do you want a spot?
Okay. Was this like a hostage video situation of like?
This isn't
you
even going
go
out.
to-
This is an interview.
Okay.
This is like a job interview.
Okay.
We got Julia locked in for the Fringe.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
1 out of 60 acts. We're doing great so far.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
which is a smashing start. And
Cool.
last thing, any plans for Fringe for you this year?
Not concrete plans as yet. No.
But the Fringe, you don't need to
I don't know.
like do
I don't
anything for them.
That works.
I am
play
doing
by
2
their
Glasgow
rules.
Comedy Festival shows.
Yeah, plug those.
One with Pat Mulholland and one with Tom Joyce.
Tom
Old
Joyce.
boys.
Both lovely, lovely boys.
Delightful human beings.
Yeah, both fantastic and very funny as well.
Yeah.
Both
yeah.
adorable little freaks that they are.
Ah.
Yeah.
The alt comics of my eye, Apple is of my eye.
Yeah, they're both great. Tom
Yeah.
Joyce is one of my favorite comedians. Full stop, and he's just so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. Anyways,
Yeah,
we'll
thanks so
let,
much for coming on.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much. I'm
thanks
going to
for
go
coming.
pee. Thank you. Bye. Love you. Bye.
Hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Touching
Bye.
tips.
Tips touched.
Touching tips. Bye now.